Just seems so dark.
I think we're started. Hello, everybody. My name is Brian.
I'm Dr. Michelle Mraz.
Oh, formal are we? Dr. Michelle Moras. So I'm Peon Brian Swanson.
We are Denim and Pearls. We are business casual
With pearls of wisdom.
from the porch. And happy Friday.
Friday. Everybody, Friday. But we got an interesting topic today. And I think we're actually dressed appropriately considering what we're going to talk about.
What?
Vogue. Looking good.
Dun, 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 dun,
You're all
dun,
dressy and
dun.
snazzy, got a brand new dress, and here I am in a button down t shirt.
Vogue. So we're talking about dressing. Well, it started with, sharp dressed men, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, no, sharp dressed ladies. Well, why don't you just do Vogue because it fits everybody? And we're talking about how you present yourself and do you like the way you present yourself in your business and at home?
Well, I, I have this thing because I think I have this picture in my head. When I think Vogue, I think tall, skinny, blonde, um, fancy dress, diamonds, that kind of stuff. That's the picture that I have for Vogue.
Madonna's not tall and skinny.
Well, she's skinny. Well, she was skinny.
She still is.
Oh, okay. I haven't
She's
seen
just
her.
not
I
tall.
haven't
She's just
seen
not
her
tall.
later. We're not here to criticize Madonna.
But she's not tall.
But that's what I picture in my head. That's what I think that's what we grew up with.
But everyone has their own Vogue-ness.
Oh, do tell.
Your Vogue-ness is when you wear your vest and you've got your jacket on. I mean, he can snazzy up. So when he wants to present out, he snazzies up. What do you snazzy up with?
Yeah, but you do it all the time, Miss Bougie.
I'm bougie. That's
Bougie.
part of me.
I was going to say bourgeois, but
no,
it's the wrong word.
So with me, it's the opposite. So when do I unvogue, basically? But no, it's just how do you want to be? How do you present it? So even in my casual wear, I wear things to my brand.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a brand?
Yeah, redneck.
He is not making this easy.
Well, that's the whole point here because we all have our own
level.
Yes, our own level of appearance, if you will. There's some days that I could be, hey, my delivery's here. Yeah. There's one day that I can be totally greased out working on the car or doing something like that. And then, like we did here just recently, go to a nice soiree and
deck out,
except for the bow tie didn't quite work. I didn't like that. So I ended up with the long tie.
Well, see, my thing is like, I love to dress up. It's part of me. And so when people like him call me bougie, it's like, no, it's who I am. Even at the gym, I don't think I ever get completely ragamuffin.
Tank tops and muscle shirts.
I love those. I didn't get my muscle.
See, no muscles anymore. You lost your muscles.
You can't see it, my shirt. But no, really. So when you're representing your business, now if you're doing roofing, it's okay to come around in jeans and whatever, painter, you've got paint on you. But if you're, like I always pick on accountants, if you're an accountant, you should not be going to a meeting or a networking meeting or any kind of gathering not dressed to your level. I went to I guess you can call it a speakers conference. It was a conference, and a man stood up and he said, "I'm a high-end accountant for blah 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 world wealth," and we both looked at each other.
I think I know who you're talking about. And he was wearing
like a beanie.
Oh no, I was thinking of the other guy that wears a button-down black shirt that's been through the wash 100 million times. And
yes, it's the same person.
Okay.
So that's the thing.
He does do some good business though.
But the first thing we all said was, "Really?
Are you kidding me?"
Or you've got people who say, "Oh, I work with multimillionaires, blah 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 blah," and you're looking at them thinking, "You're wearing knockoff tennis shoes and they're dirty. Your jeans are obviously not from that caliber of. If you're working that well, dress that well."
I would agree, and some of the networking groups and stuff that I've been into over the years, it's always interesting to see the guy that does walk in who is a painter
who's sharp.
Well, I'm thinking of the guy, excuse me, the one guy that does show up, and he shows up right after he gets done with a job.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't change his jeans. He doesn't change his shirt. And he walks in, and he's all head to toe paint. I mean, that's good for the job site, but is it really good for a networking?
You should probably
thing?
change your shirt.
But if he actually just threw on even if he had a clean t-shirt, and clean, I mean, not painted. Okay. And well, we don't want him to smell either, but a clean shirt and a clean pair of jeans or whatever, that to me is acceptable, because that is his job. That is his career.
You are working.
But you don't show up as if you just took off if you left your overalls all painted on.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
So you represent your brand in the way you want to represent your brand, but realize that if you want to represent your brand to a different level, you need to act a different level. I'm not saying
that's true.
I'm not saying, don't be you. I'm saying be you, but be the best version of you. And so when people are looking at, let's say, we'll pick on a painter.
We already did.
If you have paint all over you and you come to a networking meeting and say, let me come paint your house, I'm looking at you thinking, boy, you spilled a lot of paint. I don't think I want you on my wood floors. You see? That's how
carpet.
That's how people think, so you've got to keep those kind of things in consideration when you're like, well, I'm just being me. I'm authentically me. That's great.
Yeah. Well, the reason at that point is, well, at least I'm here.
Yes.
But you're here, but you're not representing it yourself well in some cases.
Yeah. So you want to make sure that your branding is compatible to what you can do, but to what you actually do.
Mm-hmm.
That's enough for our show today.
There you go. That's exactly what I was thinking. Look sharp. Be there.
Look sharp. Be your best version whenever you go into a group, because people do make judgment calls. I mean, we want to say we don't, but we do. And I know I've looked at the painter I look at them and say, that's a lot of paint. Do you do outside paint or inside paint? Oh, I do inside jobs. Oh, no, not in my house. You're not. On the outside, yes, because you're covered with paint. You obviously dropped a can of paint.
Okay. Can I throw one out there that is probably, hopefully I don't want to offend anybody, by no means. However, this is a personal opinion, and I'm going to ask the question. Should yoga pants be worn to a networking meeting?
If you are a yoga instructor or a fitness instructor, yes.
Okay, that I agree with. But everybody wears them nowadays.
Because they're comfy. But yeah, don't do it.
Because I remember when I was a kid, there was no way you went out of the house without slacks on or at least jeans on.
Well, geez.
We never went to school in jeans.
I'm thinking in our day, you dressed up to get on the airplane.
Well, yeah. And
so we are old school, but still.
And sweatpants? Oh, my goodness.
Pajama pants? Oh, no.
Oh, well, I'm talking about sweatpants. It's going to school in sweatpants. That was no.
No, so you really remember when we were kids, well, maybe not for you, but maybe if you're in our age group, we were always told, dress to the job you want, not the job you have.
This is true, too. This is true, too.
Yes, so, yes, I'm bougie, but as I say, I'm the next Oprah. I'm Michelle. I'm coming. I dress to that job. I dress as it already has happened.
Well, you have an example that kind of happened recently that, you picked up a five-figure account. If you wouldn't have been dressed as you were, would you have possibly got that account?
Probably. Well, eventually, yes.
Right.
But probably not as quickly as I did.
Yeah.
So you really do want to be your best. And then we can go into the whole personal side too. People are like, I don't know why they treat me like that. I'm just like this, but that's not me. I'm like this. People judge you by your clothing. And so I'm kind of booby right now, but I'm thinking, someone's going to see me on the street. Wow, she's really relaxed. No, I'm dressed because I'm comfy and I was at a tea party.
This is where the guy partner keeps his mouth shut. Doesn't say a word.
See, he can be taught. So the thing is in your personal life, you also want to dress to that level of I don't know, class or whatever you want to be represented at. And you go to a bar, we go to karaoke bars all the time. You've got some people who come in and they look like
Hell warmed over.
Yeah. And they're like,
Froze over.
why isn't anybody paying attention to me on stage? It's because they look at you and went, that person doesn't even look like they can sing, let alone get out of bed. So it's that simple in the easiest and smallest of places. It's like people make judgment calls. I mean, I've also done a test where when I fly, I've flown in yoga pants and a sweatshirt, and they,
You don't get the same.
but if I come through and
Conversation.
I'm dressed, people stop me and say, "What do you do?" You know how many books I've sold in the airport by what do you do? You look important. It's because I'm dressed like I know what I'm doing. But when I'm wearing my yoga pants and I'm basically hiding, no one sees me, no one talks to me, no one offers anything. But when I'm dressed up, I'm in the front of the airplane. People are giving me free drinks. I mean, it's just all these things that happen just by dressing up.
I need to dress up and get boobs.
I'm telling you.
Because it's not all just dress up. I can dress up and get on an airplane and they still couldn't ignore me. There's one factor missing.
2, actually.
Fair enough.
Okay, and again, we have lost this show. But no, really, Vogue. It's your level of the best version of you. What do you want? What do you aspire to? Dress it. Just the part.
Another thing that I want to know too. I'm going to hit some of these hot topics today, or hot fashion topics, I should say.
Sure. I'm not a fashionista, but okay.
I know, but well, what about the guy who shows up with the earring in his nose?
That's an earring in your nose.
Or the tattoos up his neck.
Well, that
I mean, I'm not the guy can have or gal can have all the ink that they want. I'm not. That's not my thing here. But I'm also looking at the impression of even how they're dressed. And when you're dressed really sharp and then have a nose ring in.
You have a wild side.
Is that what it is? Nose rings, earrings, okay, I can live with those, I guess. But when it's facial something, I don't know. Is that really professional?
Well, it depends on what your profession is. You see,
if you're a tattoo artist, great.
Yeah. But my thing is what people don't realize is when they say, well, they didn't hire me because I have tattoos up my face, or I have a nose ring, or I have a gauge, or whatever it is. Okay.
Right.
Remember that, what did my mother-in-law say? You have the right to dress and act however you want. But people have the right and to judge you.
To judge you, yes, or deny you. Or,
yeah.
Right.
And so when someone's like, I didn't get hired because they didn't like the gauge in my nose, I do, what were you applying for? Oh, an investment banker. I mean, I know people who have taken jobs like that, but they use makeup to cover a lot of the tattoos on their faces so that they can represent the company. Okay. So remember, when you're out there, you are representing a company if you are working for someone. You're not yourself anymore.
Yeah, but you're also representing yourself if you have any sort of business, honestly.
No, that's what I'm saying. When people complain about, well, I didn't get hired, it's because they want a particular look to represent their company. Now, as entrepreneurs like we can wear anything we want, but we also can push away people or attract people, and it's a choice. What do you want?
I've had lots of people come to me when I talk about being in, life insurance and investment type stuff. They look at me and they go, I really want to deal with you because you look like me. You look relatable, down to earth, relatable, and you don't look like a stuck-up insurance salesman with a plaid jacket.
I mean, tonight you'll see an interview that I have with MJ. His name is MJ Wolf. He's an actor.
Well,
but you'll see the show tonight. But what we talked about it is, as an actor in his late 40s, he used to be clean shaven, short hair. In the acting world, everyone who looks like that, there's thousands and thousands of men with short hair and clean shaven, and they get milliseconds on the just being the doctor that says, here you go, nurse. They have really short roles because there's so many of them. So what he did is he grew his beard, he grew his hair out, and now he's different. So now he gets, Christian roles in from biblical stories.
Playing
He
Jesus? Cool.
What I'm saying is he changed his look so he looks different from all the other actors out there. They don't have to say, "We'd like you for the role, but can you grow your hair and let's see what that looks like." He already has it. So
Yeah.
he gets sectioned to different roles that are very interesting for him. So he says, now I'm not with this cattle call of 3 million white males with short hair and clean shaven. Now he's, white male, long hair, beard. So for him, it worked. It made him different. So as my old partner Gary Barnes used to say, you need a pattern interrupt. The pattern interrupt should be quick, not sustainable. It doesn't just stay. So the pattern interrupt you do is, I look really sharp at this interview. You don't have to look sharp at the interview every day if that's not what the job requires. You just make the first impression. And then you can go to the jean code. All engineers go into, jean and t-shirt mode when they get
I'm
hired.
just the song. I think we should have named the song "Signs." Or this episode "Signs." Signs everywhere. Signs messing up
true.
the scenery.
Yeah.
Long hair, crazy people need not apply. Unless you are long hair crazy and you.
Well, he gets really cool roles now. So I was just thinking that it depends on what you're after. He wants more unique roles. So he made himself look more unique so that he gets cooler roles for him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Most people, you look at me and do, that lady looks too fancy. I can't do that. I can't work with that lady. She's too fancy. No, I'm pretty laid down. I laid back. It's just, I like to be dressy.
So you can be the old rich woman that lives in one of those mansions with the big chandeliers and stuff like that.
And all the cats and all the puppies.
And you can come out, Alfred, would you get me this papoon?
The great papoon. Great papoon. Well, anyways, so branding, Vogue. What do you like to look like? What do you want to be on the cover of your magazine that says this is your business? What does that face look like? Really, you need to do that because, as Brian has found with his businesses, people come to him because he's the everyday guy, relatable, right? And what does
you put me in a jacket and make me look like an insurance salesman, which I am.
He looks uncomfortable.
I'm not comfortable, and it doesn't work.
So what does your business face look like? And what does it draw?
Flies. Oh.
That's really what we're talking about today is what's that Vogue face that you want to bring out to the world? What are you drawing? What's the honey you're bringing in with the
I have to go back to the yoga pants because it's their latest craze that has been going on for too long to be a craze. And there's just some people who should not wear them.
Well, that's not our problem.
But it's not our problem. But on the other side of it too, I guess, if they're looking for a serious job,
then
they shouldn't wear that kind of stuff, but yet they do. And I don't
wear
understand
yoga
that.
pants ever to any interview unless you're going to a gym to apply.
Right. And there's some people who go out there, I wear them every day, but if I went on a job interview, I wouldn't. And that's fine.
But every day is a job interview.
Every day. Yeah, exactly. You took the words out of my mouth in this case.
Or as in the world of speaking, stage time. Everything's a stage. Everywhere you go, you're representing. I mean, Brian's had conversations with me. I'm going to Walmart. Should I change? And I do, no. But what if I run into someone? I do, well, if you think that, then go change. Right?
Some of it's self-confidence too. And it depends on if you want to ignore people or not.
Exactly.
If you don't want the attention that day.
I desperately try to hide sometimes and it just doesn't work half the time. But what's cool about all of this is you choose the best version of you to show up. Right?
Yep.
And that's what we're saying today. What is the face that you want to portray? And
so in other words, I shouldn't be on my phone?
No. Well, I'm usually on my phone trying to share, so I didn't share it this time. But, that's really the thing is, remember, if you're wondering why you haven't gotten any clients in a while, think about your dress.
Take a look at you.
Think about your clothes or your mentality, your attitude about what you're wearing. Because I mean, I've had people come on and they'll say, well, I want to do this and I want to be on stage, but don't do this. Don't take pictures of me. Don't do this. Don't do that. It's like, wait a minute. If you're going to do something in your line of work, then do it to the best of your ability. Go do it. Own it. And so I remember when I was heavier, when I first started, I used to be afraid of going on stage because the camera adds 10, 20 pounds on you. We're smaller than we look on this screen. No, we're not. But anyways, and I remember being afraid of that. And then I realized I will dress to the best of my ability, right? I will look my sharpest and I will own what I look like.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's a whole nother thing. You can be in your tattered jeans and whatever you want to and own your spot, own the ground you walk on.
Right, but we keep talking about, looking your best. How do you define that? I mean, because at this point you want to be you want to be different, you want to be singled out, but yet we have to dress to a standard that is socially acceptable as Vogue, if you will.
Your Vogue, not Vogue, your Vogue. And it all depends on your job and what you're after. I mean, we were hanging out with all the burlesque ladies, during the Valentine's soiree that we were at, and they're very scantily dressed.
Some of them,
but they definitely wouldn't go to a bank interview dressed like that. Is what I'm saying. There's a time and a place for being uniquely you.
There's a time to wear your clothes and a time not to wear your clothes.
All I'm saying is, like with my son, he's got gauges and earrings and all sorts of things. And what he'll do is during his job, he takes out the big gauges, puts in the smaller ones. He wears long sleeves so all the tattoos don't show, but he's still uniquely him. You see? So there is a time and a place to let your light shine as unique as the individual you are. But if you're trying to get a job under someone else's name, you got to dress the part.
We didn't have to worry about that in the military. We all had one uniform. Of course, now it's changed a little bit.
Yeah, but even
your hair could be longer and different things like that. But even in the
military, your tattoos could not show.
Right. Well, that was then.
Now they can.
Now there's a whole new story of dress code.
But that's the whole thing is dress to the job you want, to the best of your ability of what you can, and show up as your best. I mean, not many people, I always say this, but I buy a lot of clothes at Salvation Army and the Ark. Why? And Goodwill. Why? Because people get rid of really nice clothes, and why won't I use them? I mean,
you just have to be picky as you go through
Yeah, I'm just very selective of what I do. And
selective, not picky. Selective.
Yeah, I'm very selective, but I find great clothes there. So if you want to be my clothes sponsor, then you just let us know, because I love certain particular clothes, and I tend to find them at the Arts.
I wear Carhartt real well. What do you need? What's that MK stuff?
Michael Kors and
Michael Kors and Ann Taylor. I love Ann Taylor, by the way.
Yes.
Something about her line. I don't know what it is.
I wear it all the time.
Weird, but it's kind of like, I don't know. I don't know why. Some reason it's one of those weird
it's
things
classic.
of me that I appreciate a fine Ann Taylor.
Because they're classic.
Yes, guys, I do understand women's clothes to a certain degree. Well, we always talk about that. I know a lot about a lot of things, and clothes is somewhat one of them.
And I'm really big on wrinkles. I don't like wrinkles, so I wear clothes that don't wrinkle.
I love the ones that just never, ever, ever, they're the perfect guy shirts. Mm-hmm. And they've got some out there that, you can wad them up, throw them in a suitcase, go on a trip, take them out and go, and they're right back to looking.
Well, my designer who made my gown, Darlene Ritz of DCR Studios, she made my gowns so that I could roll them up in a ball, shove them into my luggage, and they do not wrinkle. That's my kind of making, right? Uh-huh. So think about what you wear. And if you have something important to do, don't roll out of bed and pick up what's on the floor. People can tell. They may not say it to you, but people can tell. Right, Brian?
What are you talking about?
See,
What
exactly.
are you talking about? I haven't left the house in 3 days. I can wear what the heck I want.
So your business partner says, we're doing a show. You need
You're
to
doing a show.
get
Oh.
dressed. So that's the thing, is just dress to what you really want.
Yes.
Don't say, you know, I'm doing this and this is where I am, so this is what I dress like. If you have aspirations for something else, dress the part.
I have aspirations, but not to be an actor.
Yeah.
I've always heard those two words together, but I would not. You know why I wouldn't want to be an actor?
Why?
Because you got to lose weight, gain weight, lose weight, gain weight. Because, you know, you got to be buff for one scene, and the next scene you got to be this old man that's flabby. And it's like, no, I would never want that job.
It's like bad on your heart, too.
I don't know about that, but I wouldn't
it
want
gives
to.
you heart problems.
Oof. No way. They're just no. So anyway.
One less white male in the line to act. Good. See? Problem solved. So, did you get all that?
Oh, yes.
Go dress your best version of you and show up as the best version of you. Don't walk around in wrinkled clothes unless you... No, don't walk around in wrinkled clothes.
Yeah. And guys, polish your shoes.
Yeah.
Really. I mean...
Ladies, polish your shoes.
Well, yes. But guys, one of the things that people look at is the heel of your shoe. Did you know that? Because when you walk away, that's kind of like their last impression of you. And if your shoes are scuffed on the heels and shiny on the toes, they know you're acting.
Learned something new today.
Yes.
So go be the best version of you. Be unapologetically awesome, because you are. And own your space. Okay?
Sounds good to me.
Okay. Well,
I
don't have sunglasses. So time for karaoke. We'll talk to you all soon.
Here I have spectacles. Does that work?
See you next week, everybody. TTFN.
Peace.
Welcome to the Denim and Pearls podcast. Business casual conversation laced with pearls of wisdom. Casual, authentic, unscripted dialogue about life, work, and entrepreneurship with the perfect blend of laughter and seriousness. Pull up a chair, kick back, and lean in as we welcome your hosts, Michelle Mross and Brian Swanson.